Hello everybody, welcome back to another video here on my channel. This video is going to be a vinyl record video. It's going to be like a video with my vinyl record collection as of, and this is going to be the Beatles. Now, for probably some people, do ask, or maybe not, but some have probably wonder how I got into the Beatles, and of course my grandparents were big fans of them. I mean, they saw them on the Ed Sullivan Show. Well, they didn't see them in person, but I do have a friend that went to the concert in the 1960s at Shea Stadium, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, but pretty much I've listened to their music probably since the late 90s, I want to say, something like that. I mean, they had like a lot of music in the 90s, like artists that were pretty good and stuff, but a lot of them, they were good as well too. But to me, the Beatles, have always had like that great sound, like the lyrics, the drums, guitar, anything like that, the vocals, lyrics, pretty much that's about it. I mean, I remember when I watched their first movie, A Hard Day's Night. It aired on the AMC channel. I think I had seen it before. I think we used to have it on VHS. We had a couple of copies of it, or I think one copy that I watched on AMC, and I remember watching it with my grandparents, and we laughed at it because there were a lot of funny scenes and a lot of good scenes. I remember we were singing to it, like, of course, when A Hard Day's Night started, the song, and then I Should Have Known Better, like a underrated song. I used to have a huge vinyl record collection of the Beatles, but unfortunately I sold them in 2019. Well, the reason is I moved from Parkville, Maryland, where I lived before, and I moved to Dundalk, Maryland, and I had no job at that time, and I had to do something, to make money. Yeah, I had to pay for rent pretty much, and but I did find a job in 2020. Then I wound up getting my vinyl record collection back up. Like, I started getting more and more, but then time after that, I wound up selling them again because I was just going through like a time, with bills and stuff, because when you have a job, and you have bills to pay, like rent and phone bill, and that's pretty much it. So, but now I have, built them, I'm, slowly building it back up. I mean, I still have my job and all that. I have like, few others. I mean, well, what I mean is I have my job, but there are bills, you got to pay sometimes, but, I mean, well, you do. But anyway, so let's get into this, and I'm talking a lot and stuff, but let's get into this. So the first one, now, for the record, it's not very many records, unfortunately, but it's still better than nothing, so let's get into this. The first album is Introducing the Beatles. This is, like, the first album in the USA, and this one is on the Black VJ Records label, and this one cost me a good amount of money to get. I mean, I'm not going to say like how much it was, but of course featuring the group, sorry for the glare right there, but the group right there on the front. Now, of course, this was the American release. The UK release was Meet the... No, I'm sorry. That was the second album. Meet the Beatles is the American release, which was the second album in the United States. With the Beatles was the second one in the UK. The first one in the UK was Please Please Me. They don't have like a USA release of that because it was just called Please Please Me in the UK, and in USA it was called Introducing the Beatles. And of course, a lot of very good songs on here. I know you can read a lot of them. Songs like I Saw Her Standing There. This is like all on the side one. Then Misery, Anna, Chains, Boys, and Ask Me Why. And then side two, you have Please Please Me. I think there may be some copies that do not have Please Please Me. I'm really not too sure. Like, somebody can let me know in the comments. Then we have Baby It's You. And of course, some of these are like, I think, covers like from other groups, something like that, because I think Baby It's You is by somebody else, and probably the others on here too, but a lot of them, there's probably some others, that are not covers. Then we have Do You Want to Know a Secret, A Taste of Honey, There Is a Place, and Twist and Shout. Now, Twist and Shout, I know, was, I think, by the Isley Brothers. And, of course, I usually like the Beatles versions more than the other people that did them. But, yeah, and if I had to do, like, top 5 songs on this one, I mean, my favorite on this one, I mean, honestly, I like Anna. I don't know why, I mean, but I think it is actually a pretty good song. But I Saw Her Stand There is also up there, and Please Please Me. Of course, Want to Know a Secret is really good because George Harrison, is one of the best in the Beatles. Well, all of them are. I mean, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. Of course, when the Beatles started, originally I think they were the Quarrymen, and they consisted of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Stuart Sutcliffe, I think his name is, and Pete Best. They also had a few other members as well, too. Yeah, originally, then they were called the Beatles, and it was John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and I was just reading a message there, sorry. But anyway, yeah, then it was... and there's another message I saw on there, that's all right. Anyway, yeah, so it was John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, and Pete Best, I think. And then around 1961 or something like that, 62, one of the years, I'm not really sure, and that's when Ringo Starr joined. And yeah, I mean, they had probably videos of the group, with Pete Best on drums. And but anyway, then the Beatles, unfortunately, split up in 1970 when they decided to go their separate ways and stuff. And pretty much all 4 of them became very successful artists. Like John Lennon was a great solo artist. Paul McCartney, even though he did Wings, but he's also still a great solo artist. George Harrison, same thing, and Ringo Starr. Yeah. I mean, they had like other bands as well too. Like I think John Lennon had John Lennon and the Yoko Ono Plastic Band, something like that, or whatever. George Harrison, he was a member also of the Traveling Wilburys, along with Tom Petty and Roy Orbison and somebody else that was in there. I forget his name. And Ringo Starr, I don't really know like what he called like his band, like Ringo Starr Traveling Band. I don't really think that's it. It was something like called it or something. But like I said, all 4 of them became successful solo singers, and I'm sure Pete Best and the other members that were members of the Beatles as well were also, great singers as well too, or solo, you know what I mean. But anyway, that's it for the first one. I mean, I know I took some time on that one because, I mean, it's a very good album. I mean, I had like a couple of copies of these, but mine was on like a different label. It wasn't like all black. It had like colors around it. Excuse me. Then we get into the next album of the Beatles, and this is the second one released in USA, and that is Meet the Beatles, which I did mention. I mean, I thought it was the one released in the UK, but it's called With the Beatles. I mean, With the Beatles, it's the same one, but it's just a little bit different than this one. Of course, this is the USA release. And again, With the Beatles is the UK release. Whoops, sorry. And this one's got very, very good songs on it. A shot of the group on the back. What was I going to say? I forgot. Yeah, this one's got like a lot of really good songs on it. And this one is on the Rainbow. I call it the Rainbow Capitol Records label, as you see right there. And I believe this one is a mono one. It doesn't say stereo, because it would say like stereo on the album itself, or probably like around here. Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. With the Beatles has songs that are not included on Meet the Beatles. Like on Meet the Beatles, the songs that are on this one that are not on With the Beatles are I Want to Hold Your Hand, This Boy, and I think there's another one. I don't really know. I mean, but I know because With the Beatles starts with I Saw Her Standing There, and it might, or no, I think it's I Saw Her Standing There. That's not on there. Yeah, it starts with "It Won't Be Long," and then the others as well too. Yeah, yeah. I think it's "I Want to Hold Your Hand." I saw her stand there, and "This Boy" that they do not have on the with the Beatles copy, but this one on Meet the Beatles is "I Want to Hold Your Hand." I saw her standing there. "This Boy," "It Won't Be Long," "All I Got to Do," "All My Loving." That's on side one, and side two, "Don't Bother Me," "Little Child," "Till There Was You," "Hold Me Tight," "I Want to Be Your Man," and "Not a Second Time." And this is one of my favorite Beatles albums. I mean, there's a lot of underrated songs on this one. I mean, "This Boy" I think is very underrated, and it's absolutely amazing. Like when John, George, and Paul all sing together. Because I'd seen like a performance they did on the Ed Sullivan Show, and when I watched on there, I was like, wow. I mean, it was pretty amazing. I mean, I think the way that how they do that. I mean, I don't know if there's a Beatles song like where all four members sing together. I mean, I know they do Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and I get by with a little help from my friends, but I mean, I'm talking about like a song, where all four of them like stand in front of the microphone and sing a song together or whatever. I mean, they probably did. I just can't really know what song it is. But yeah, I mean, this one, is really good to listen to. And three of these songs were actually in the movie A Hard Day's Night, which are "I Want to Be Your Man." It was played in the scene when the Beatles are at a club, dancing with some people and stuff. And that it's just like a brief one of it, like maybe 20 seconds of the song "I Want to Be Your Man," which Ringo sings. Then we have "Don't Bother Me," which George Harrison does, another underrated song. And then the next one is "All My Lovin'," very good song. Not really underrated, but it is a great song. "I Want to Hold Your Hand." I mean, it was not played in A Hard Day's Night, but that is one of the best Beatles songs. And I remember watching on the Ed Sullivan Show, like on DVD, like the first time they were on there, then the second time when they did "I Want to Hold Your Hand." Of course, the girls screaming and audience, really loving it. "It Won't Be Long" is a very good one. I mean, there's someone here, I have not really listened to, but I have listened to them, but the songs I mentioned, are just really good. Yep. And a shot of the group, like on the back there as well. I mean, I don't think I mentioned that, but there you go. Yep. Very, very good album. Now, this one, unfortunately, it doesn't have a sleeve around it, like a vinyl sleeve, like to protect, the record itself. But unfortunately, this one is not in very, very good condition at all. I mean, it was only like $5 when I got it, but I figured I would get it because I saw it, and even though I cannot fix, the album, well, like the outside of it, I mean, the vinyl, I try and clean up a little bit. But this one is another good album, and this is the Beatles' Something New. This is like another USA album. This is a stereo album, and this one is on the Rainbow Capitol Records label. Let's just show you like that, and that's where it says stereo, where it says on the side. Like if it doesn't say stereo, then that means it's a mono pressing. And a lot of people, say which one is better, stereo or mono? I mean, to me, I like mono more, but stereo is good as well too. And of course, more songs on here that they did in A Hard Day's Night. Like the first one is "I'll Cry Instead." Now, there's two versions, I think, of the movie A Hard Day's Night. Like one has where they start the movie and they play the song "I'll Cry Instead" in the beginning of it. And then they show like clips of the movie and behind the scenes stuff. And then they get into the movie and play the song "A Hard Day's Night." On another version, they just say who, like the film and stuff, like who is responsible for the film, like whoever. I want to say Richard Lester. I thought that's the guy. I don't really remember. It just shows the person's name and they get into the movie, and that's pretty much it. But of course, A Hard Day's Night, the movie, has a lot of great songs in it. Same with the album as well, or soundtrack, whatever you want to say. Then we have Things We Said Today, Anytime at All, When I Get Home. I don't think I mentioned like the other songs on the other album. I don't think I did. And here we got I Want to Hold Your Hand. I saw her standing there. This boy, it won't be long. All I got to do and all my lovin'. And side 2, Don't Bother Me, Little Child, Till There Was You, Hold Me Tight, I Want to Be Your Man, and Not a Second Time. Sorry I didn't mention the rest of the songs. But on this one, once again, I'll Cry Instead, Things We Said Today, Anytime at All, When I Get Home, Slow Down, and Matchbox. On side 2, we have Tell Me Why, which is also from A Hard Day's Night. We have And I Love Her, which is a very, very, very good song. It's another one of those underrated songs. I'm Happy Just to Dance With You, which is another great song by George Harrison. A lot of songs on there that don't get enough attention, and they should. And If I Fell, once again, another song that is very underrated and very, very good. I mean, some people, are probably not Beatles fans, probably disagree and stuff, but I really think that there's a lot of songs on there that are very good. And sorry for the thing, that not being the best condition, but sometimes when I see albums like these, I go for them, even though you could probably get another one of these, if there's no album, or if there's no album in it, you can get this, by itself, or get it in better condition. But it has a thing in there as well, like a sleeve or a whatever they call it, the dust jacket or something, for a vinyl record. Yeah, like I said, it was only $5 because when I saw it, I pretty much had to go for it. I didn't really mention the price, the other records either, but mainly because I just didn't want to say, it wasn't expensive. One album was pretty expensive, the one that I showed you, the first one, introducing the Beatles, and the second one, I didn't pay a lot for it, but sorry I didn't really say the price, but I was just saying the one of this one because of how cheap it was. But yeah. But still a very, very good album, and I play these on my Instagram a lot of times too. I put them in the story, or I show them being played sometimes, but I don't do a video. Sometimes it's copyrights, but yeah. All right, so that is going to do it. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Sorry it's only 3 records, but again, it's better than nothing. All right, so thanks again for watching this video. As always, like this video if you do. Comment and no negative stuff. Subscribe. It's not a bad thing, a good thing. And you all take care. Thanks again for watching.